I'm Caitlin, and welcome back to the Imperfect Homemaker. Today we're going to talk about 10 things that I do to save money and the planet. Now, being conscious of our environmental impact is very important to me. I'm a Christian and I believe that in the Bible, God instructs us to take care of our planet and to be good stewards of what we are given. And I'm also very frugal. My husband and I wish to buy a farm really soon, but they are expensive. So we are doing everything we can to save money in the meantime. So, without further ado, here are the 10 things that I do to save money on the planet. The first thing is I pack my husband's lunch. Or he packs it. Usually I pack it, but if he has an early morning, sometimes he packs it and I get to sleep to a normal time. So this saves us so much money. We figured that most days his lunch costs us about $2 sent from home, that's 2 sandwiches, either a cookie or a muffin of some sort, and a yogurt. We make our own yogurt cups. We have reusable plastic containers that we send with him and a real spoon. So they come back and they get washed and refilled again. We do use a one-use plastic bag for his lunch, which is not my favorite thing, but we have a bunch of them. We bought them for something else, and so we have them, so it is more sustainable for us to use them than to let them go to waste. And that is the only disposable thing that we use for his lunches. I make our bread, so even that doesn't come in a plastic bag, so it's really very little waste for a lunch. The second thing that I do is I cook from scratch. I cook my bread from scratch. Most of my recipes I start out with just my basic spices and potatoes and carrots and meat and all that and go from there. I try to cook from scratch as much as possible, and I do really good. The one thing that I haven't learned how to do yet is to make a good spaghetti sauce, but I want to learn how to do that this year. The third thing that we do to save money and the planet is we either raise our own meat or we get it from people that we know. So it's local. The environmental impact is very low. All these animals are raised on pasture and don't have a bunch of chemicals put into them. And it saves us money because raising your own meat is not always cheaper than the absolute bare minimum cheapest meat that you can buy at the store. But if you want something that tastes good, that has flavor to it, that's what you have to do. I was blessed enough to be raised on farm fresh meat, so when I eat store meat, it kind of leaves my stomach with an upset feeling. It just doesn't sit as well as farm raised meat does. The fourth thing that we do to save money and the planet is we buy in bulk. We go down to a bulk food store that's about an hour and a half from our house, and we go there and get most of our dry ingredients. I love it. It's so much cheaper there. And we don't make a special trip down. My family, who lives close by, buys their feed in the same town. So the feed store and the bulk food store are like a mile apart. And so I will ride down with them. We'll go get the feed for the animals, and then we will stop by the bulk food store and I'll be able to pick up my groceries. So it's not an extra trip. We're not spending the extra gas. Although I did figure it out, I saved so much money there that it would be cheaper still to drive down the hour and a half and drive back in a car for the amount of money that I save on groceries. But if you ride down with someone else and don't have to pay the gas at all, it's even cheaper. They do come in plastic bags or plastic containers, but we reuse those plastics. So the plastic containers I love for freezing stuff in. You just have to pay attention to what was in it, because like I get most of my spices there because it's so much cheaper. But you're not going to want to store something like pumpkin pie or pumpkin in a container that originally stored garlic powder, because it will come out tasting like garlic. But they're wonderful for when I make bone broth. I can let it cool and put it in the plastic and store it in the freezer to be able to pull out whenever. It is so nice. I know some people use glass in their freezer. That just makes me nervous. Things fall out of our freezer fairly frequently, so I would prefer not to have glass broken all over the floor. And the bags we use to store food in, either in the freezer, or we will also use those to send my husband's lunch in. So everything that we get from there gets at least one more use, if not more than one more use. The fifth thing that we do to save money and the planet is we cloth diaper. As you can see from this channel, it's very important to me. I'm very passionate about it. I love doing it. It saves so much money, especially now that I've learned some stuff. We spent initially more money than was necessary on diapers because I thought I was going to want the most popular type of diapers, and instead I like the cheapest kind of diapers, which I should have known. I know myself. I don't want to spend more money than necessary on things usually. So we learned some lessons along the way, but the exciting thing is the stash that we have will last us through multiple kids. We figure every month we spend approximately $5-ish on diaper supplies. But that, I think, will even go down as time goes on. It will always be a couple dollars because things do wear out. We use wool covers and you have to lanolize them every now and then. We use snappies instead of diaper pins, so they wear out after a while. So you have to replace those things. But other than that, our stash that we have now should last us through 5-6 children, which is wonderful because we've spent about $250, $275, somewhere in there, on diaper supplies. And that should be it. That should get us through many, many kids, which we would have spent more than that on diapering our 10-month-old already. And disposable diapers, once they're used or get wet, they're done. That's the other thing I love about cloth diapers. If something wet gets sat on top of them in the diaper bag, you dry them out, put them on the baby. If they get left outside in the rain, you just wash them and put them on the baby. Where I know my family lost or was unable to use several disposable diapers because kids took them and left them outside and they got rained on and then they were all used up. The sixth thing I do is I dry clothes on the line. You will also see that if you've watched any of the flats and hand washing challenge. But I actually wash most of the stuff by hand. The one thing I don't wash by hand is my husband's jeans and our large towels. They just don't come out as clean by hand as I like. They do better in the washer, but everything else I find that I can actually get a better clean washing them by hand than putting them in the washer. So the cloth diapers, all of our t-shirts and light pants, socks, underwear, bras, kitchen towels, sometimes even his flannel shirts. The sweatshirts I do still put in the wash with his jeans. Partially also, he works in the trades, so he gets a lot of grease and grime on them, and the washer just handles it a little bit better than I can, hand washing. And then when everything's done, I hang out online. If it is raining, like it has been a lot lately, then I will use my drying rack inside. In our laundry room, we have a shelf, one of those white wire shelves, and so I keep hangers in there and you can hang up the shirts to dry that way. That's how I did it throughout the winter. That's one of the blessings about living in an area where you have to use heat to get through the winter, is it dries your clothes really well. Especially since the furnace is right next to where the clothes hang to dry. The seventh thing that I do to save money and the planet is I patch my husband's jeans. Like I said, he works in the trades. He's very rough on his jeans. And so what I do is I patch them using denim from his old jeans. I got a pack of iron-on patches, which work really well. He tends to rip out the corner of his back pockets, so I can put the iron-on on the inside of his jeans to help reinforce that. And then I take, whenever he has worn out a pair of jeans beyond repair, I will take and cut out any good denim. And good denim just means it's not worn. Even if it's stained and greasy and grimy, as long as it's not too worn out, I will cut it off and I save all of that. And then I use that to put large knee patches on his jeans that he's currently wearing. So it doubles to triples the life expectancy. So we figure it saves us about $120 to $160 a year in that. Plus denim is very resource intensive to make. So it saves a lot on the environment. Number 8 is I recycle fabrics. If you watch my How to Diaper for Under $20 video, you'll see that for the Flats and Hand Washing Challenge, all of my diapers were recycled fabrics in some way. Some of them truly recycled fabrics and some of them reused fabrics. So one of my favorite ways to recycle fabrics is sheets that are not as pretty anymore, or you just have a top sheet and you don't use the top sheet. You can cut it up into cloth diapers. So not only did you not just like throw out a top sheet, but then you have diapers for either free or very, very low cost. It's wonderful. And they're some of my favorite diapers to use. But that's just one example of how I recycle fabrics. Number 9 is I use reusable period products. So I've used a menstrual cup for about 4 years now. And then this year I've also started dabbling into making reusable pads, again with recycled fabrics. I love both of them. One of the things that really led me down this road was not just the money savings, because it saves me approximately $30 every month, which is a lot of money. You know, about $360 a year in savings just from that. But also I did some research and found out that toxic shock syndrome is a very real thing that can kill or maim girls from the chemicals that are used in menstrual products, which was terrifying to me. I read account after account of these girls and young women who lost legs or died from it. And I had no idea that your period products could kill you. That's crazy. So when I found that out, I really wanted to switch to something that was safe. And on the plus side, this means I don't have any disposable stuff for my period. Everything is reusable, you know, not indefinitely. The menstrual cup is good for, they say, about 10 years. And I don't know how long the pads will last, but much, much longer than 8 hours. The 10th and final thing that we do, or I do, as a homemaker, to save money and the planet, is buy used pretty much everything. We have not ever, nor will we ever, have a brand new vehicle. In fact, our vehicles are very old, but we get them for an affordable price. I did not buy any new clothes for our daughter. In fact, almost all the clothes that we have were hand-me-downs. I think I bought about 10 pieces of clothing over the 10 months for her. And it was because at specific times we needed a specific thing. So at one point I bought a few long sleeve onesies when we got into the colder months because we didn't have enough in that size. I bought her a St. Patrick's Day shirt, that kind of thing, and some tights. But for the most part, everything that she wears is hand-me-downs. A lot of the diapers that she is wearing are hand-me-downs or I bought used. For her newborn stage, I did buy some new diaper covers, but then for our next child, that will all be used. We did not buy any of our furniture new. Any of the furniture that we did buy, we bought used. Most of it was given to us. I just don't see the need to pay new price. It's more expensive. It's harder on the environment. And for what? A lot of times what it comes down to is pride, which is something that I struggle with because I try to find the balance in between taking pride in ownership and wanting your house to look nice and wanting your property to look nice, and it becoming a pride issue and being like, oh, I don't want people to think that I don't have enough money to buy this thing, or I don't want people to look down on me because I don't have the beautiful brand new couch that was put on a credit card for 3 years. I hope that this gives you some ideas for how you guys can save money. I would love to hear in the comments down below things you do to save money in the environment. At some point I hope to come out with a follow-up video to this of 10 more things I do to save money and the planet. I will think about that. Until then, have a wonderful day. God bless. Bye.